Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Mm, There we go. All right. Kind of a boring morning. Kind of a boring morning. Sounds good. Thank you, Nara. Yeah, kind of a boring morning. Currencies have finally taken off, and I say take off, not really, right? I mean, got on with Todd at 8:45 this morning, and the biggest mover was the euro dollar at minus 10 pips. That was the biggest one. Now things are starting to move a little bit. Obviously, the pound weakening a bit. I mean, at 35 in the dollar yen is in 24 hours is not really that much. So it's moving a little. But dollar yen, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, Aussie dollar. I mean, pound, euro pound. There's just not a lot of movement here. It's kind of like all eyes are kind of on the Ukraine scenario as well. It's there's a good day and then a bad day, and then a good day and then a bad day. Seems to be what we're getting here. So it's this weekend should be interesting. The reason I say that is because some of the headlines are quite funny. I mean, one, not funny, but the separatist leader is evacuating residents to Russia. Okay, um, and it's interesting. It says the separatists say women and children are to leave for Russia. Okay, so Russia is taking in immigrants. All right, which is okay. Where are they taking them to? Where are they going? Is this a permanent move? And if that's what they want, if Russia wants to absorb them again, I'm sure Russia would love to have extra citizens. That's kind of what they want the Ukraine anyway. It's all positive news, right? Is it preface for an invasion? Sure, right? I guess. I mean, if you're removing women and children because it's going to be a hot zone, okay. But these are the separatist leaders, right? So interesting, but it's kind of like if you want to go, go, right? I don't think Ukraine is like, no, you can't leave. So that's interesting. So that's one of the headlines, and that's like, all right, we're gonna stop shooting, and yeah, and if there's it, and if you think about it too, right, from a like strategic standpoint, right, for the separatists there, right, because this is what Russia's like protecting the separatists, right? If they're getting rid of the women and children, right? Whoops. That means there's no innocent bystanders left. That means everybody there is combatants, which makes it easier for you know anybody to squash whatever resistance is in there still. So it's kind of like, hey, if you want to peacefully leave, go for it. We'll help you. What do you need? What do you need? We'll help you, right? So that's kind of one side of the coin, right? And then where is it? We have Russia, right? 5 hours ago, they tweeted, "Hey, listen, just so everybody knows, we are part of our military drills. We're going to launch ballistic missiles and cruise missiles as part of our drills." May say, well, that's war. No, I mean, if you think about it, if you're conducting drills, right, ballistic missiles and cruise missiles are a standard practice now. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Since what? All the Iraqi wars, right? All the Iraqi kind of times that we've been in there, we use cruise missiles and ballistic missiles, right? Now, not intercontinental ballistic missiles, but cruise missiles, absolutely. Remember all the Tomahawk missiles, and oh, look at this, look at these videos. You get the grainy screen, so it's you know, I think they did a good thing. I think mentioning that, hey, listen, as part of our drills, We are launching these just so you guys understand this is part of our drills. Now, are we going to keep an eye on them? Sure. Would we have already been keeping an eye on them? Sure. But it was a good thing that they, I don't think, people will see this and be like, hey, listen, oh my God, they're going to shoot missiles. That's it. You know, I don't think it was a bad thing. I don't think this is should be taken as like an inflammatory thing, because they did. Hey, like, listen, we have military drills. Everybody, we've said we were going to have military drills, but we're going to shoot some missiles as part of these drills, which I don't think is uncalled for. I mean, I don't know what our military drills look like. I'm not a military person, but I do know in every single conflict we've had, there are missiles being shot. So for them to use missiles in a drill, kind of makes sense. Okay. Um, but yeah, obviously we're going to be watching very closely to see where the trajectory is. So kind of a positive, kind of a little bit of a negative. G20 urges, care in unwinding, pandemic support. And again, inflation globally is a problem. Everybody, we know what the solutions that is going to be. So another thing down there, I think, is kind of what we're looking at, right? This article right here, talking about the long holiday weekend in the U.S. may deter strong, risk taking today. Nice statement. I think this statement really does have a lot of truth to it, and I wouldn't say it's just today, right? I would say pretty much like whenever there's a holiday weekend, there's always a lot. It's not so much that there's less risk taking. I would just say that there's less money in the market, like less people actually trading going into a holiday weekend, right? Because think about it. I mean, you're not going to take really, really risky positions. I mean, think of it. It's like, oh, we have a holiday weekend this weekend. I'm going to go out and lose a lot of money and be super risky the day before. No. I mean, it's great if it works out in your favor. You're like, oh my God, I made so much money. Woo! Beers for everybody, right? But on the flip side, you want to take the chance of ruining your holiday. If you're so excited to go away, it's like, yes, I just need the break. Do you really want to end it on a bad note? Not really, right? So it's kind of like a little bit of a common sense. And they're talking about how Treasury are just steady, and this is steady, and this is steady, and this is soft. So kind of what I assume for today. I mean, yeah, will there be some movement? Probably. Is it going to be like a record breaking day movement? Nah, but you just got to know that. You know, um, for me as well, it's kind of looking at this and saying, there you go. Because I told you it's all positive, negative, right? People are looking for designated bomb shelters, right? Some have become cocktail bars, restaurants, and even strip clubs, right? So I mean, how funny is this? It's like, hey, listen, I need to find a bomb shelter. These are my requirements. They need to have good beer on tap, right? I need to have excellent food, right? Will we have to have, will you allow kids, right? It's become like an a la carte. It's like, come on, like what is this, right? Um, I don't know. It's just it's got to be hard for people over there. Um, yeah, I don't. I feel bad for them. It's just that the crisis needs to go. And then again, on the flip side, again, flip the coin one more time, because again, the coin has 12 sides. We see this. OPEC Plus is bringing Iran back into the supply deal, right? And I mentioned this before. When this started, Iran's like, "Hey, you need more supply? You could lift our sanctions." And the sanctions were put there for a reason, right? This is the analogy I used with Todd. I was like, this is like in youth sports, right? I bench a player for bad behavior, but then somebody else is being bad, so it's like, all right, you know what? Even though you were bad, this guy has been badder, so you can go back in again. But don't forget what you did was still bad, right? It's like parenting multiples, is kind of what we're at right now. Now, if we reach the agreement and they agree that, like I said, we're not going to nuclearize anything, then it's whatever, right? Um, can we switch the sanctions and say, hey, you know what? Yours is in Russia. You out. You're bad. Go sit at the on the end of the bench. It could. It could definitely happen. Could this all have been averted? Probably. Have we not decided to cancel a pipeline, making things more difficult and jacking the price the way that it is? Then, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of one of those things. You make the bed you sleep in, and that's what we're dealing with right now. So, loud sound of siren can be heard in central. Let's see, what are they doing here? All right, sirens wail across self-proclaimed as region prepares to evacuate the Russia. All right, so they're doing sirens. So I don't know if they're just trying to drum up drama or what this is, but sirens, right? And you know what? I'm wondering why. I mean, I get it. You don't ever want to cede anything, but it's kind of like, you know what? If Russia is so concerned about this area, right? the Russian citizens that are living in the Ukraine, right? If they are so concerned, they can draw the line. What if they drew up like a peace deal and said, okay, you know what? These are these peoples here. We will allow them, and we will recognize their sovereignty. They are allowed to claim this area and recognize their sovereignty with the agreement that will give you your buffer, and then the Ukraine can join NATO in full with full approval from Russia. Would you be okay with that? So yeah, the Ukraine would give up these people that don't want to be part of the Ukraine anyway. It gives Russia a border and it gets them in the NATO, so they are further protected from aggression. Like, I wonder if they have talked about that already. It's like, listen, these people already hate you. You're already at war with this region anyway. It's a civil war that you haven't just squashed. Make that deal. Make it happen. And then we're done. We can get back to business. That's what should happen. See, I should be a negotiator. They should send me in, right? But I'm coming out with multiple cases of vodka. I want the legit stuff. You heard it here first. That will not stay Putin. It was a Bolden. No, I don't think so. But no, that's the thing, Ernest. It's called a compromise. You can have that piece of area that nobody wants right now, but the Ukraine is joining NATO. I know you don't want us to advance, but this gives you. But what is it? Do you want it? Do you not want it? No. Okay, never mind. We're still going to join NATO anyway because they can't stop him from joining NATO. He can try like hell, but it's not going to stop him. He's already emboldened. I mean, come on, right? He's already emboldened. He's fighting a guy that can't figure out again if you had pudding or jello this morning, right? That's we're gonna do something severe to you. Don't know what it is, but diplomacy is on the table still. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with, right? Pudding or jello, and Putin's sitting over like, are you kidding me? Really? I'm playing chess with this guy. So U.S. home sales, not really a big deal. It's not going to affect too much today. G20 meetings are to kind of see some notes, nothing major yet. Waller speaking, again, Waller's kind of all over the place. Talking about the new policy, right? The Fed's new policy strategy, right? Oh, the new policy strategy at the U.S. Monetary Policy Forum. Yeah, I don't know why Waller's talking about it, so we'll see. I mean, Waller can say whatever it's whatever. I am curious about this. I mentioned it yesterday. Love the idea of this conversation. Yesterday, it does appear that they are going to come out with the regulations this year. Actually, probably in not that far of a time frame. If you listen to Nadex, you heard me say this. If you were on there, I do apologize for repeating myself. But I know tax preparers are definitely asking some extra questions this year. Actually, my mother called me last night. She's like, "What is this thing that they're asking me to, to do?" And I said, with the regulation coming in, a lot of people. There's two major changes this year, right, with taxes. One was like the Venmo, PayPal, that anything over a certain dollar amount now for the entire year. It's not just on a single transaction. They want to know electronic payments, how they're moving around, right? And it's family and friends are excluded from it. If you sent money to like your sister or your brother or something like that, that's not a big deal. It's third party people. They track it and they have to provide a document to you just to track kind of payments that are off the books, right? It used to be different. Like if you pay in cash, there's no books, but there is no such thing as cash anymore. Really, people don't pay with cash. They pay with Venmo or PayPal, right? And that's the new cash. They want all that stuff tracked. So, that's one of the big things. And then they also want to know about crypto because there's so many people trading crypto, but you don't have to pay taxes on it because it's not really reported. There's no requirements for that. So I'll tell you right now, in 3 years, if you say something like, yeah, I have a crypto holding, be prepared to be audited because they're going to look back and say, well, wait a second. When did you start trading crypto? Did you claim any of those gains in crypto in prior tax forms? So yeah, anything over 600. No, it's not anything. It's everything. So if you hit the 601 mark, Ernest, it's everything. It's not a single transaction. It's a cumulative for the year. A lot of people are confused about that one. But yeah, so if you have a crypto account, you traded crypto, and the second it comes up on one of your tax forms, don't be surprised if they do a look back and say, okay, when did you start trading that account? Wait a second, you made money in 2021. It was $5. Did you report that on your earnings for the year? No? And then again, they tack all those fees on from, I'll tell you right now, if you had to pay money for taxes, right? and you had crypto gains this year that you didn't claim, and they audit you and go back again, man, they put the interest rate on from when you actually earned them. There's going to be a lot of people that they're going to snag with this, right? A lot of people they're going to snag that had earnings that were like, "Oh, you didn't claim those gains 2 years ago?" Really? Wow. Because there's a X interest rate on that you've let go for 2 years now. That the penalty is more than what you actually gained. Wow. And this is how we're going to fund infrastructure. So yeah, make sure you gain those things. So that's why tax preparers are definitely getting that extra word out there. But she's going to lead it all. This is how it's starting today. So again, if you're interested in that, you've done that. She would be the lady to talk to, or not talk to, but listen to at 1:30 today. See what she has to say. You can get the Cliff Note version of it afterwards, but I think definitely something to kind of listen to. Um, and again, will we have a digital dollar? Yeah, we're definitely going to have a digital dollar without a doubt. And then the regulations will come down because they're going to tax the heck out of it. Um, Again, it's free money. Why would they not tax it? Right? I mean, come on. The leading party right now, the pudding and jello guy, his party loves taxes. Tax everybody until nobody has anything, and then we're all equal. That's their philosophy. So, yeah. So that's it. Let me see. Is there any more recent? No, just the sirens. Hey, there's sirens. We have to evacuate. And again, this is just how can we make this as drama filled as possible? We need to evacuate our homes because the Ukraine is bad. Really? Because I mean, the Ukraine hadn't stomped your civil war effort thus far. I mean, why would they just suddenly do it now? Right? It means that it's coming from the other direction. So yeah, poor us. Yeah, that's it. I'm telling you, look at this face. This is almost as good, right? This is Putin's face when Biden speaks. And he's like, "What did you say? I have no idea what you just said." Right? I love this. Putin says sanctions against us will be imposed anyway, regardless of the real reason. Yeah, I mean he's not wrong. I mean they're going to find a reason. Not that they're not justified in some sense, but this is his. All right, what are you going to do to me now? Right? So I told Todd today, I was like, yeah, I was like, honestly, he's just like, whatever. You're going to do sanctions? Sure. Sure. Yeah, look, see, we need to work on increasing our economic sovereignty. Like we don't, we got to rely upon nobody else besides ourselves. And that his whole we're gonna legalize crypto mining here, and then the sanctions won't bother us is the worst thing you could ever hear if you were a crypto trader, right? The fact that Russia is going to allow and incentivize crypto traders so as a means to avoid sanctions, yeah, it's not what you want to hear. Hey, we're going to do that so we can avoid your sanctions. Ha! We laugh at your sanctions. It's like, no, I want to trade that asset. I want that asset to be legitimate. Please don't do it. So they're going to ruin it for everybody. But here, look at that. In 10 minutes, in my soapboxing for the morning, our biggest movers, our pound dollar and our pound yen, they were up 35 pips. Now they're only up 16 and 2. So 12, 15, 12, 1, 3, 6, 1, and 1. Oh, 0. So, welcome to Friday, going into a holiday when Russia's about to practice launching weapons. All right, let's look at the overall markets here. So, or start off with the Aussie. Aussie, I would say, we were looking for 72, 73 to get hit yesterday. We could extend this, this a little bit higher, right? We can kind of branch it out. We're still, we're kind of on the back end of it, right? We're kind of breaking out of it, right? Do we have a lot of dollar strength? We got a little bit of dollar strength. It's more kind of breaking sideways. Depending on how we adjust this, if we adjust the points to, here, sometimes the equidistant channel is not perfect, but if we adjust the points, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. We're really kind of stuck in the same channel. It really hasn't left yet. We're on the bottom side of it right now. And again, you can see it's rallying from that point. It's not lost. People will be looking at that. Your touches are in. So is it really a big mover? Not so much. Again, we're looking for decent levels. We're not really getting anything. Did it really turn into a great spot? No, not really. There's a little bit of sellers in there, but nothing spectacular. This one's running out of time going into the holiday weekend. So, um, really, I mean, our top and bottom haven't changed 72, 73, 71, 51. Is there anything smaller in here? I mean, I guess there could be a case made about this level right here. I mean, it did bounce right off the side, right? And it did come up and go from there. So, if you want to compress the channel a little bit more, we could. But I mean, really, what's the driving factor? It's going to be the U.S. at this point. Can Waller move this one around a little bit? Yeah, probably. Waller's going to talk about doing accelerating the balance sheet and that kind of stuff, and that should bring some dollar strength in and what raising interest rates look like. Um, a little bit. Is it going to be able to blow through this small level here? Maybe, but to what end? That's not till this afternoon, and is there going to be enough time from then till 5 o'clock to move? I don't know. It's kind of a hard one. Um, Also knowing that we go into a holiday weekend, it's going to be the Aussie alone. So, I think we look for these two levels maybe for potential openings. We're kind of sitting right in the middle between the two levels right now. And again, it's still just kind of following this equidistant channel. So, not much in this one. Um, I'd love to say that, hey, listen, there's a secret trade. No, there's not. Aussie yen. Aussie yen did come up and grab that level. Again, the 83.22 is one what we've talked about. This one is well beyond its 1 to 3. The trade has already come in, and that kicked in at the European session this morning at the 3 o'clock open. So, had you got into this one, your 1 to 3 is right there. There's 2.99. Again, we kind of went halfway down and have now retraced a bit. So, we could draw. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, 50 doesn't really matter in there. We're kind of at the 50-ish level right now. Trying to see if there's anything like hidden in here with a range. No, not really. These are those poor 50% traders. There's a level that kind of broke through and it's like, boom, popped everybody out of that one. Um, Again, top, bottom, right in the middle. So I mean, the trade was there from yesterday, the 83.22. Again, European session, it literally popped right in, and we've talked about this one for 2 days now. So hopefully you guys are able to grab that one, that completion. We do have the higher time frame up top, and again, I think we have top and bottom right now, the 83, 85, and then vice versa, the alert down here on the bottom. Get the horizontal line down here. Let's change that to green. And for an alert there. Right. So there's kind of our current top and bottom, and we're sitting right at the 50% mark in the middle. And you can see it hasn't really trended. So, yeah, hopefully you caught this. This was about the only, this is one of the only ones this morning, and that was a nice little 40 pip runner. And actually went more than that, but nice little 40 pips. Euro pound, nothing. Yesterday we were sitting right here. We are at the exact same spot we were yesterday morning. A little down, a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down, a little down, and you can see it's consolidating in for the weekend. So this on the 15-minute, I can just throw this on 30. All right, not a whole lot here, right? We are in a racetrack right now. We still have that racetrack. So if you are really looking for something, there can be a case made that, hey, listen, we got basing. It's really kind of pounded through this level a few times. Let's set up a potential kind of Harry Potter short here on the next break if we can get a pullback. You could. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely in play. The only problem that I have with this one is it is Friday. Your 1 to 3 is there. That's 2.98. There's 1.301. You can see that it is before, where our profit target needs to be. We had labeled a profit target out. We do have, yeah, I mean, there's probably another little profit taking line right here at 83.08, which also coincides with the 83.09 right here. So it's at the very, very end. So, overall, we talked about the target being lower here. It has given us a new level of basing. So there could be a short coming through this level. Would I hold this one over the weekend? No. No, especially this weekend, I would not hold it. Is there enough time today for it to complete? Oh, I don't really know. But for those people that are really anxious or really want to take something to go that are cool holding this over the weekend, there's kind of what it looks like, right? Confirmation entry of 83.33 all the way down to 33.09. You could probably run it down to 83 flat. Why this one probably is more of a benefit to the downside is because if Russia does something funky where they decide to send some tanks and be like, "Oops, we didn't know where the line was. My bad." Again, that will hurt the European Union, and it'll probably help the UK a bit because they're a little bit more insulated. But yeah, any tanks roll, it definitely hurts the euro because now it's on their doorstep. And that guy from Germany that's like, "Nah, we can work this out." Yeah, good luck, Germany. They're one step closer to you. So. But yeah, small little trade. What the heck was that? Weird. Euro yen. So euro yen yesterday morning, we were sitting right here. We're kind of in the same proximity. We're a little bit lower. We talked about it getting down. You can see that there's definitely some hidden buyers in here coming in through this level, right? It's hit, 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 it's hit. Could it drop? Sure. Is there enough room before we hit the next area of buyers? No. No, there's not. Um, but I would definitely say that this level here, it was tested, had a nice response, and we can't get down there right now. But 130.20 is definitely an area that we want to kind of watch out for as a potential reversal. If it hits in the next hour, could we take it today? You could, sure. But again, it's running into the same thing, right? The European session is almost over. It is a holiday weekend. Not that, the Europeans celebrate our Monday holiday, but it is definitely, you know, one of those with everything going on, do you want to trade over the weekend where the markets are closed that you couldn't get out of a position? Mm, do I think Russia's actually going to invade this weekend? No, I don't think. I think Russia is not going to actually invade this weekend. But could they? Sure. Is it something we should kind of be worried about? Probably. If you don't need to take the risk, don't. Okay. But right now you can see it's down 0.01%. It's totally flat. Um, just not enough movement. But next week, even Sunday night, do I like this 130? If Russia hasn't nuked the world yet by, Sunday night, if we're opening in the 130.20, probably a good sign, right? That's probably not a bad little trade higher. So again, 130.20, 132.20. It's funny. 132, 130 are both the ones that we're looking for. All right. Uh, Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, where are we from yesterday? We are minus 11 pips from yesterday, right? We were sitting right here. We're down a little bit, but we basically did nothing but go sideways. We went up a little bit this morning for the European session, and they drove us back down, so we're a little bit lower. Kind of same thinking. Up top, down below. Both these levels are still valid. 114.05, 112.94. Again, totally flat, no movement. Nothing really changes from day to day. Can we go down a little bit? Sure, a little bit, but we know we have some buyers coming in here at 133.30, 133.20, sorry. And again, tested. Is it a level I want to buy off of? No. Especially over the weekend. But touch. This is number 3. Could it bounce from there? Sure. We're only sitting 20 pips right now. Could that absolutely run down before Wallace speaks? Sure. Yeah. So it could be a potential trade. Maybe something smaller. See how much premiums locked into that one. Maybe there's a small 2-hour base trade. So pound yen. So pound yen had the short. Right? This was one of our alerts. It dropped, it came back, it dropped, it came down, it hit the 56, it bounced up again, and now we're kind of consolidating. It did break through briefly at the 3 o'clock candle and then pulled right back into the same window. So we are minus 4 pips in 24 hours. Yeah, minus 4 pips in 24 hours. Minus 5 pips. There we go. Now 6. We're rolling. There you go. Existing home sales. Right. So that's not bad. 7. I went back to 6. It's not that exciting. We're still going sideways. Again, I think the 156.09 is still an area we would look for. It's hit twice. Do we see a lot of massive amounts of movement from now through the rest of the day? I just don't know. I really feel like no. It's Friday, holiday weekend. Love to tell you, hey, listen, buy it again because look how great it's been. Okay, it was a target more than anything for me than a takeoff point, and it's worked out well. Had you take it either time, but now we're pulling back, and this will be hit number 3. So we're really kind of sitting smack in the middle of this lower range. Overall, again, I think my favorite shorts. I think there could be a case made here or here. I think either of those two are probably pretty decent. Right now, are we trending? No, we're not. We're just kind of consolidating and we're in a sideways channel. So really not much to do. If it drives down and we open in the 56.09, yeah, there could be a case made that that's a good one for this weekend. Yeah, I think that's not horrible, right? It's not bad, right? I do like the 155.36 a little bit better though. All right, pound dollar. So yeah, we talked about it. Were we going to get a base in here? Did we get any type of a base? Did it come back down? We were sitting right here yesterday. It's like, hey, if we can come down and base, that would be great. Yeah, it did. It based in that level, and now it's basing in that level again. So is there a Harry Potter here that we could take? Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we saw with the other trades, right? Your 1 to 3 is sitting right there. There's your profit target where I said get out at. So it's kind of there. It just hasn't confirmed yet to the downside, but it's kind of set up for it. Do I like trading the pound dollar into Friday past 10 or 11 o'clock? No. But I would say that it's probably set for this. And again, could Waller shoot this to the downside? Yeah, absolutely. Talking about running the balance sheet off. If Waller, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Waller. If Waller says point 0.5 to start, Bullard is talking about we need to do shot quick, right? We need to shot quick, and then we can, custom tailor it later. That we're way too far, gone. I think Waller could be the one that says the point 0.5, and if so, if Waller does say the point 0.5, I do see this coming down today. So if you're interested in trading something for news later, that could be something to go. Waller speaking at 10:45, so not bad. It's not necessarily a reversal time, but getting the basing in there right now, chopping back and forth, it is set, for that. So if you're looking for something, um, it would be a short of that level and a target down here, 135.68. But it's on 70. Yeah, it's on the 70 mark. Oh, there. Whoops. And there. Whoops, not that. There. Something along those lines. And again, profit targets, great place. We were talking about it pulling back to here. And again, that would have been a 50% pullback at this overall level. It's come all the way up, so we kind of got to reset it, right? You got to kind of reset it at this point. But if we leave that to there, you can see that that's where the 50 came from originally. And again, the 50 on the top would be the same 50 back to the bottom. It would be the same exact area. If I ran it from here, it'd be the same exact spot. So not really much else to say, right? Dollar CAD, totally chopping sideways. Dollar CAD is officially 14 pips higher. It's not really. It's popping up and down. I think, whoops. I think we still have our 127.72. I still think we have a break of the 126.50. Brings us all the way down to 126.12. And again, sideways movement, no action, going to a Friday. And look at this. Oil is down huge, and this is barely moved, right? Oil's down 1.23, right? Down 1.33%. And this one, its responses, it's down 1.04. So it's not trending enough. It's not even taking oil serious enough right now to really do much with it. So yeah, nothing there. Dollar Swiss still hanging low, right? Evacuating troops, and this is barely moving, right? From yesterday, we were sitting right here yesterday. We're almost in the exact same spot. It's been a total movement of 3 pips in 24 hours. And you may say, wait, Brian, you said this was going to be a great year. Yeah, but doesn't mean it's going to be, a great year is not a great, 3 days, great week, right? Too many things going on right now. Dollar Swiss is still waiting for this target. It hasn't hit it. It's gone down a little bit, gone up a little bit, and still steady. Not really a great trading opportunity, but once we hit this 91.76, I think this one comes more online. Dollar yen. So we got the bounce. We were talking about it coming in. It did hit the level. It hit the level again on a smaller time frame. You can see this. We can drop it down to a 5-minute. I drew this. I was like, look, we need to hit, and then we need to hit it again, right? Then remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this. There was your hit. There's your hit. And then there's where it takes off to the top side. Did it come all the way back up? No. I was like, go, go, go. So yes, it hit the level. I know some of you guys got in this trade. We were looking for the short on the other side, and I tried to play this one a bit more conservative with the retest. Had I done it off of the area here, it would have triggered. I went for the more conservative, and in this case, it should have been bold. It did turn and roll back down again. But I would say right now, being in the middle of this, you got to wait for the 114.78. I do like it. I mean, again, it has 2 touches, but it barely, like by 1 pip touched it. I think that level is still there, and it's one to watch out for. Do I like the 115.34? Yeah, I do like it still. Reason why is because these sellers that caused this big imbalance in price are still sitting a little bit higher. The initial wave of them, though, kicked in here and kicked in here, and it's starting to go higher, meaning that they are getting eaten up. So those 50% guys are trying to front run this one. The second it goes through, that's where we're going to get the support and resistance traders going, hey, there you go. That was old resistance, right? We need to buy it now. So there's going to be a trap set for them. So I think the 115.34 is good. So I don't love the dollar yen in most cases, but I think both of these areas are decent levels to look for next time. And again, I went for the confirmation entry. Had I taken the bold entry, the near-term one, you would have been short and probably out of your trade already for the dollar yen. But again, you would have gotten the long. So this would have been more of a profit target up top. You guys can see, remember, if you're in a trade, you're not doing a reversal, but your profit target would have been, let's see, your 1 to 3 would have been in here. So Yeah, you would have been up in that range, and actually, you could have probably taken it up into. I mean, in the end, it went 1 to 8, so it was quite a large trade. Yeah, but back in there, you can see how fast you would have gotten out of that trade. All right, so wait for it to come down to bounce, or wait for it to go back up, and you know, grab any other direction. Crypto's down a little bit. Ethereum down more than Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin will be the most insulated, being the biggest person on the market from any type of regulation. Just again, the sheer size of it. Again, Ethereum a little bit more problems there. Dogecoin's actually up a little bit, but it's up a little bit, but it's still under 14 cents. As you know, it continues to mine its way into zero. Um, you know, not have Todd. It's funny. Todd is very like not anti, right? Anti Dogecoin, but he's anti Dogecoin. He's like, I don't understand why the heck would anybody in their right mind buy this thing? It was meant as a joke, and it doesn't have like I don't know if you guys know or not. Bitcoin has gotten harder to mine, right? There is new like there's like when there's like these resets, what happens is like you could have originally when you mined it, it was at a specific rate, right? But as more and more of it is mined, it gets harder and harder to mine until it becomes almost like impossible. And so we had to like to limit it in a sense. Dogecoin doesn't have that, right? It doesn't have that limiter on there. It can be mined forever. So when you have something that is an infinite resource, through its like own level of inflation goes to zero. Todd goes insane. Ask if you ever want to mess with Todd, right, on one of these sessions. Ask Todd, if you're going to be able to trade Dogecoin with the new under the new crypto.com ownership. And he's going to be like, "Oh my god." Or is or ask Todd if Dogecoin is the next Bitcoin. Don't tell him I said that. But ask him if if that's going to be the next big thing. It sets him off every time. But yeah, so look for those two. Bonds. Bonds are up a little bit right now with risk off. It's kind of go with a little bit more certainty with thing, and bonds are pulling up again. There are some sellers up in this area, so nothing super crazy with bonds. We'll talk about oil. So oil is kind of rebounding back again from its morning losses, and again, you tend to see more U.S. kind of returns to price. Two down, two up. I mean, again, we're kind of back in that V. Yesterday we had the V quickly, and then we pulled the double V. We got the V today. We kind of ended at the low, and now we're pushing back up. I would say oil probably has the ability to move up to here. Oil is going to be a funky one because it's like, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? We're going to allow Iran to get off their sanctions early, right? Time off for good behavior. And it's not even good behavior. It's more kind of our necessity, right? The world's necessity versus good behavior. But I don't know. It's kind of Russia's oil is not as important if Iran is back in there. And the fact that they are not included in the calculations for the OPEC plus kind of deal, it's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot more oil. And trust me, with oil this high, the second Iran is cleared, right? The second they are cleared to be producing and sending oil back out again, they can start making some money. They're going to make some money. They are going to be dumping stuff on the market and talk about, yep, we got more, we can produce more because, think about it. The sanctions have definitely hurt that nation, right? Not being able to, get rid of that. When your number one export is like, yeah. So don't be surprised. But yeah, so I think it actually makes sense that this is rallying again. Getting beat up in the overnight, obviously because of the Iran, but nothing, we don't really know, right? So yeah. Now, natural gas also kind of cooling its heels a little bit. It was skyrocketing back up again. We talked about getting into a Harry Potter, ended up hitting it and confirming off that level. So that level is still valid for later on when we do break through. And that level would be for you natural gas junkies out there, breaking through $4.37, right? Here and here. We pulled away from it. We're kind of sitting in the middle, right? If you want to draw some new fibs off that level. You can see it sliced through the 50 like it didn't even exist. It came up, it actually grabbed the sellers up here right past the 61.8. So, yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Gold doing nothing. Gold doing nothing. We talked about getting a confirmation entry and kind of dropping back down lower. It hit and kind of went through and then dropped down and kind of hit it again. Again, we do now have, I'll just use one of these lens. We do now have consecutive a lower high, and we do have, right? We could go down here and say, wait a second, we got a couple bottom things. Are we starting to form a channel? Could be. Could be. Let's see. I'll do the parallel channel. Let's see if it's going to follow. Yeah, so far it is, right? So far it is. You know what? Let's move. Can I move that? Yeah, I can delete these because those are free-handed Crayola drawings. And here is the perfectly equidistant channel. And that's kind of what we got right now. Isn't that crazy? How literally, if I just change the width of it, it follows the two path. So, yeah, say gold is probably more to the downside. Like I said, while we're talking about balance sheet and curbing inflation, yeah, I think that's all in order. Silver's up a little bit, right? It's been quite choppy. Look, you can see there's a lot of gaps in silver right now. And again, being up at 24 is a very interesting spot for it. So the down run on this one, we never got the same pullbacks. 24 is a big level. We've had this marked off for a while. The area below it, it hit it, it dropped, and then came back up, and now it's using it for more of a long point. Silver's fate is kind of tied to gold. Silver also has kind of more of an industrial kind of basis. And again, any type of positive China news tends to spike silver a little bit more than gold, but yeah, I don't know. I think silver's a little bit more risky right now. But 24 is an area where it is forming basing. I mean, again, it was a sell area, sell area, sell area. It came up, and now it's pulling back and using those sellers as buyers. So probably a bit more run today. It is probably in the works. But the nice thing about this one, and again, looking at this chart, okay, this is important. It's kind of hidden in there as well. Just understand that there's your kind of tops, right? Here's kind of your bottoms. So we're starting to get more of an expanded range. Okay. So just keep that in your radar that we will start getting more volatile swings in silver. Now, VIX it says it's down a little bit only because it kind of gap lower in the overnight, but then pop back up again. I think that the VIX is going to watch headlines, right? Obviously, cruise missile practice is kind of one of those. Really? I expect. Excuse me. Ugh. I'm doing too much talking, not drinking coffee. Waller speaking about the new policy of the Fed, it's going to keep it high. After Waller speaks, that should go down a bit, right? Because then again, okay, that's it. No more speeches, Bernard. I'm not worried about that one. So that should help bring this down. That could potentially help keep these all in positive territory. Right now, they're barely moving. Russell's the only one that's moving right now. ES off the open, it's kind of, it tried. It sent a, the 8 o'clock push was straight down. There was 8:30. And then again, let's drop this down to a 15-minute. Yeah, you can see that it had a pullback, right? Right there, right? 9:30 it opened just above that kind of level of basing. It dropped in and then boom, took off. But immediately it's starting to pull back. So it's up 0.15% right now. It's very consolidated in. We know we have buyers that were sitting down on this level somewhere, somewhere probably in here, right? And that's what we've touched. That's where the bottom came today. So did you want to sell into buyers? Not really that smart, right? Did you want to go long with sellers right above? Not really. So, yeah, you can see that it's, new candle we just printed and we're starting to try to drive forward. So, but we're at 10:30. Is there going to be a morning reversal? I mean, it's kind of setting up that way, but we're so consolidated in, there's level of basing right here and a nice little drop. So, where's the momentum going to come from? Where's the momentum going to come from today? Is it going to be a big grinder or are we going to roll around and be totally flat? I think with the holiday weekend, I think volume will really start to dry up at 12 o'clock today. So, will we get some late afternoon potential rallies? Maybe. But I think overall it's going to stay rather flat today. Maybe Waller stimulates it. I don't know. That's the only thing I can hope for. But this was not been a trade entry this morning. So, 0 for 1 on actual trade entries off the 15 minutes. NQ, not really. 8:30, 9 open, sliced through, sliced all the way. Look at this. Sliced all the way down, sliced all the way back up, sliced less down, and then sliced less back up again. But we're in the exact same spot that we were kind of before the 8:30 window. So, yeah, NQ is, it's down 0.16. I was hoping we'd get a rally up at 10:30 to reverse it, but there's not really that much. YM, let's see. YM's up a little bit more. Again, talked about a level. It did slice through at 8:15, so it would have been validated. Pushed down at 9:30. Yeah, I don't even like this. Look, there would have been the zone, but we stayed inside of that zone and then broke out, and kind of the same scenario. Look, basing right there. Nice push down. We're hitting it now. It's 10:17. We're kind of right at that same level. So is there a great shorting opportunity here? mean, look, it's the same level before. Look, that was the old basing level before. Can't say that I'm in love with this trade either, especially on a Friday afternoon. Did have a Harry Potter here. Never really got the entry, right? We had base, came through, and there was a little pullback, but nothing, nothing really great. Russell, there would have been the Russell trade from this morning. We did have the pullback this morning at 8:15, right? And then we pushed all the way down. It looks like 9:30. We hit the profit target, right? We had talked about this profit target at 2016. We missed it here, came down to touch that profit target, and then launched itself all the way back up again to enter this trade a second time. It's already at a 1-to-1 to the downside. I mean, right now you're looking, there's like point 0.4. Yeah, it's strong, right? But if we reverse like we typically do at 10:30, so far all the candles have been up. If we reverse from our opening trend, again, nice little trade back to the downside. So of all four of them, Russell's really the only one. And again, we were already looking for a profit target down low, and that's what we hit at the open. So really not even many opening 15-minute setups today. Like I said, market is just generally flat. I mean, dollar is up 0.1. I mean, the indices right now, 0.11, minus 0.28, positive 0.22, positive 0.6 in the Russell. And right now, that's for the day. We have a parabolic move right now, and we're retracing the parabolic move back down again. So the strongest one is starting to deteriorate its wins at 10:18 in the morning, right in the reversal time frame. So I'd love to say future traders, man, it's going to be a great day. I love it. Look at this. This is awesome. Yeah, maybe if you took the reversal up top, but you're already. I mean, you can say, look, we're already what we're already 1 to 1.5 in. So wish I had more for you guys, but don't. Let's see what Apple and Tesla is doing. Yeah, Apple gap lower, pulled up again. Impulse correction. Is this the next impulsive move down? Could be. We know we don't have any. Let's see. Some buyers in there, but probably there for buyers for Apple. So Apple's got more room to run to the downside, which is going to hurt the NQ even more, which is already the weakest. And Tesla, right? Tesla just missed that pullback. Yeah, had a level in Tesla, pulled back, and it's continuing to accelerate. Elon Musk today says that the SEC is picking on Tesla. I'm like, oh, now you're whining, right? Not necessarily a good sign, but Tesla's down 1.56. Right. It's funny that the SEC picked on Tesla after Mr. Pelosi got out all his $1,000 trades. No, we're not going to have one on Monday because with the markets closed, it's going to be very low volume in any of the currency markets because there'll be no dollar play, so we won't have one on Monday. So, yeah, I've done them before. I mean, I will be online, but I probably won't unless there's a lot of movement. Like if Russia invades, then yeah, I'll be on Monday because there'll be a lot of currency movement on Monday morning. But for the most part, it's probably going to be rather tame. The way to play this weekend is going to be Sunday nights. Look for any type of like weird gaps on Sunday night for the European market. The European session will be decent Monday because there won't be any U.S. influence. It'll be purely like Euro and Pound UK-based traders. Typically, when there's no American influence in there, they have decent days. It'll trend in one direction because there'll be no counterplay for them, right? And then Monday night, when kind of the U.S. market is having their quote Sunday night, that's where you tend to get the counterbalance. So there'll be some trends. There'll be some decent setups, mostly in the European market, but you'll be able to uncover a lot of those depending on what happens. So it's literally just the currency market, right? You're not going to have commodities. You're going to have stocks or anything like that. So that's it. So unfortunately, guys, not the most exciting day today. There's not much I can do. I can't make the market move. Look at this. Pound yen, 0.00%. There you go. 7 pips. Look. -12, -16. Thank God for these two, right? Are double digits. Dollar CAD up 17. Look, -9, -6, 1, 1, -7. There's just nothing going on. Totally flat. It's a Friday. It's a holiday weekend. If you need something to do, mark your higher time frame levels. Make sure all your charts have 4-hour zones on them. Be prepared for next week. There will probably, I mean, let's see. Next week, let's see, Friday. Monday, we got services, we got New Zealand monetary and rate changes for the New Zealand. We're going to have to look at the New Zealand next week, some climate. Monetary policy report hearings on Wednesday should be probably pretty decent. Preliminary GDP numbers, crude oil inventories, and core PCE. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in core PCE. So none of the forecasts are up there yet, but that'll be our look next week. So next week's got some decent movers. So hopefully we got more. But all right, here you go. some benefits and risks. Existing home sales surge. Yeah, not surprised. And then no more. We've had no more on the whole. I was trying to see if there's any more headlines, and it's like some of the headlines that they put out are just such clickbait. Sirens in the retreat. Like, okay, are you evacuating because the Ukraine says get out? Like, are you concerned about the Ukraine? I mean, I don't know. So I love Putin. What are you going to do? Put sanctions on it? It's funny. So we're playing this game with Russia, right? We're playing this game. Hey, world, they're going to invade, and this is what they're going to say. We're going to steal their thunder right now. And Putin says, "Oh yeah, what are you going to do? Put sanctions on us? Huh? You're going to find a reason to put sanctions on anyway." So it's like the it's like the biggest cancer culture, like high school drama, right? It's like it's High School Musical, right? Biden going, "What are you going to do? Put sanctions on me?" And Biden's like, "What are you going to do? Make up fake news to invade?" It's like, yeah, that's the soap opera we live in 2022, right? COVID is over, and now we're into high school drama. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. So Ernest is on a 2 victory. We're going to find out today if there is truly a conspiracy. Right now, Ernest is in with 6, and I'm going to call right now that the conspiracy is real. This is Russia and China colluding together. There's collusion in right here, right now, right? Because I'll tell you right now, if Sean or Will was going for number 3, Ernest would go in big. And right now, everybody is scared of Ernest. So Ernest is either got his 150,000 troops on Neuro's, border, doing military exercises. Right? This is the world we live in, guys, where bullies are thriving. Look at this. Nobody is willing to stand up to the dark power. Right? Look at this. The evil empire right here. 6. His only. Where's Briggs? I need to call Briggs right now and say, Briggs, you got 35 seconds. Get in here and drop all your pip chips on this one. Stand up to the bad guy. Right? We're just being supportive. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's a contest. This is called collusion. Right? This is how the election gets stolen. Right? Exactly. I'm gonna call for the recount right now. All right. Let's see if Ernest purchased another one. Call Mr. Putin because I put in chips. I'm telling you right now, guys, Ernest must have sanctions. Ernest must be withholding cooking recipes. That's what it is. He's not sending barbecue to anybody. I need to tell James, I'm like, James, you need to get back in here. Ernest is running rough shot on these guys. All right, winner of today's drawing is. Wow. Look at that. I love Carol. I think Carol may be my new favorite person. Look at this. What happens? Carol says, "I'm not scared, not even one little bit." And what happens? Carol stands up to the bad guy and bam, she takes it. Bam, she takes it. Man, I may have to give her like triple the pit chips for that one. Look at that. Go Carol. Way to stand up to the separatist leader there. Right? Maybe that's why Debbie wasn't concerned at all, because Debbie used her hacks and she was giving it to Carol, right? Maybe that's what it is. That's Ernest. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to stack it against Ernest. Maybe I should be you know, saying poor Ernest because, the girls have now, formed a coalition, the triad, right? The lady triad over here is like, yeah, we're gonna mess with these boys, right? We're gonna give it to Carol because nobody will suspect a new girl, right? That's what it is. I knew it. I'm going downstairs to get me some tinfoil, and I'm gonna have a fun weekend. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. You guys have a good one. I won't see you guys on Monday. I'll see you back on Tuesday. If there is a lot of movement, like I said, Russian sends tanks, then there'll be a lot of currency movement. I will be around. I will probably update some levels on Sunday night, so I will probably add some to the alert channel. Thus far, the alerts are working out well when they're triggered. Obviously, when the market doesn't move at all, there's no alerts that are triggered. But please go into the TradingView alert channel, check those out, and if there's anything that you would like to see changed to make those even better, let me know. We're probably going to do one more week of a test, and then I'm going to shut down the test and lock that channel. But please just let me know. I'm always the victim. Exactly. So with that, you guys have a great weekend. Everybody stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.